This is for you.
A wrist corsage.
Well, actually, 2.
You want me to wear them on both wrists?
I forgot to ask what color of dress you'd be wearing.
Reservation for 2, please. Mackenzie King.
Right this way, Miss King.
Your name, you wouldn't be related to...
No.
No, of course you wouldn't.
So you live in the same building, you and Charlie, and you started talking.
Well, actually, his daughter asked me to help him.
And the way she looked at you, you just couldn't refuse.
Well, she had these sad eyes.
Don't they all?
Do you mind if I,
Go for it. You and Charlie make quite the team.
By team, you mean...
Well, he falls under cars. You save him.
Well, he does seem to have quite a few...
How much do you make?
Me? Well, it's in Canadian funds, so you have to deduct 38%, but...
Enough.
About myself, absolutely. Consular work is pretty dull. Although there was this one passport case.
Wait a minute. You work at the consulate?
Well, yes. That's why I'm paid in Canadian funds. It's an odd governmental regulation.
So now you're denying you work with Charlie?
With Charlie? No. No, I could never be a professional boxer. I mean, in high school,
I saw you bring him in. Are you telling me you don't feed patients to the clinic? You're not involved in this $1 million insurance scam? You're just this straight arrow, do-gooding Mountie out to help the little guy? Tell me why I find that hard to believe.
Well, I understand your skepticism. Appearances can be deceiving. I mean, for example, you're a nurse, yet you wear extremely high heels to work, which indicates either you haven't been a nurse for very long or you have remarkable arches. Also, the way you hold your wrists suggests you spend many hours at a computer keyboard. And add to that the slight crick in your neck, which indicates extended phone usage, and the minute traces of printer's ink under your 3/4-inch nails, which, by the way, must make bandaging quite a challenge. And a less trusting person might assume that you weren't a nurse at all. A less trusting person might assume that you worked, say, for a newspaper. But then, appearances can be deceiving.
And you've known this since?
The parking lot. Also, you should check your tape recorders. I think either your battery is leaking or some liquid is spilled into the motor. From the smell of it, I would say it's mace.
So you just came along for the free meal and the amusement of watching me make a fool out of myself?
No. No, I think Charlie's in trouble. And I thought maybe you could tell me something that would help.
You're trying to get information from me? Forget it.
I understand. You've already been a great help.
I've no appetite all of a sudden.
Can I at least walk you home?
Walk me home? Who wants to walk me home?
Well, I thought it was expected.
Oh, yeah? What else did you expect?
Well, nothing. I mean, I don't know.
You want to do something for me? You get Charlie to talk to me on the record.
If Charlie is in trouble, what he needs is help, not an interview.
Then all you're getting out of this date is the check.
Do you happen to know the current exchange rate?
Oh, yes, it is. Good evening.
I told you it ain't enough. I cannot live on what you bastards pay me.
200's what you agreed to. 200's what you're gonna get.
For $200, I can't even pay my stinking rent. Listen, you want me to keep taking dives for you, you better make it worth my while.
You wouldn't be threatening me, would you, Charlie? Because that wouldn't be healthy.
No, I'm not threatening you. But I have a child to support.
It's not my problem. And count yourself lucky. It doesn't take a lot of skill to fall under a car.
Evening.
Yeah, hiya.
Excuse me, but I couldn't help overhearing that.
You heard that? You know something, pal? You better start learning to mind your own business.
Well, actually, your daughter asked me to...
You don't know nothing about me, and you don't know anything about my daughter. So just back off.
I know you're in trouble, and if I can, I'd like to help.
That's easy. Stay away from me, and stay away from my daughter.
Hi. You know, Lucy, your father... he has a good heart. He's a good man.
It's okay. I understand. Can't help everybody.
Lucy,
It's like the doctors. They tried, but they couldn't help my mom. It's okay.
Okay, I'm on the edge of my seat. What's this huge moral dilemma you're carrying on your shoulders?
I've given my word to a girl.
Fraser, you do not have to marry every girl that you meet.
Oh, no, she's a very young girl.
Well, then you do have a problem.
No, I mean, she's a little girl, Ray. She's 6 years old. She's very sweet. She's asked me to help her father.
I can see you're making those minute adjustments to really bring out the flavor, Hugo.
Chamomile, right?
Thank you, Hugo. Now I've discovered that her father is doing something illegal.
So what's the dilemma? We bust him.
Then I'd be breaking my word to the little girl.
And this gives you a problem.
Yes.
Oh.
But if I don't turn him in, then I'm withholding evidence of a crime.
Very good, Benny. You can go to the head of the class.
So I've given it some thought, and I've come up with the only logical solution. You have to arrest me.
For what?
I can't tell you that.
Well, then I'm not going to arrest you.
But you have to.
Well, I'm not.
You have to.
Oh, I'm not.
You have to.
This guy, the dad, just how illegal is this activity he's involved in?
It's serious, but he's not the one who's really profiting from it. In fact, he stands to lose more than he's made.
So if you and I can get the bigger fish, maybe we can let the little girl's dad slide on this one.
Is this legal?
Would I be offering it to you if it wasn't? Yes, it's legal. Now tell me everything you know.
And you won't use it against the man in question?
On my word as a transvestite.
What's that, Ray?
It's a Chicago thing.
Ah.
Okay, so how do you know the guy who paid Charlie's a fighter?
His wrists. They were completely hairless, indicating he wears gloves that are tied tightly and in constant use.
So we're tracking a guy with hairless wrists.
Also, the second knuckle of each hand was slightly lower than the others. His jaw clicked slightly when he spoke, indicating a fractured mandible. And his eyes had shifted downward and laterally in their sockets, caused no doubt by repeated blows to the zygomatic arch.
Okay, that I'll buy, but how did you know he worked out in this gym?
It was written on his T-shirt.
You couldn't have said that in the first place? You had to go through the hairless wrists and the fractured mandibles?
I'm sorry, Ray.
Oh, man.
I don't see him. Perhaps if we gave out a description?
Look, why don't you leave this to me? You see, I've been hanging out in joints like this since I was a kid. There's a certain way to talk to these types. What's it gonna cost to work out for a little while?
Maybe your life?
Just give me a towel. So, I figured kill a guy or not, sooner or later I gotta get back in the ring. Still, I'm finding it hard trying to make ends meet, training all the time like this. How do you do it?
have to refresh my memory on the American rules because I know there's some subtle differences from ours. Ah, you see, right there, that would have been disallowed under the Canadian system. As would have that. I wonder, while we're boxing, if you'd mind answering a few questions. Ah, now I believe that was my fault. Approximately 6 feet tall, with a deviated mandible.